BK, do you derive hope from the projects that have been commissioned in the last few weeks, i.e. the Lagos to Ibadan standard gauge rail, the Deep Blue Sea project? Are these projects a form of economic stimulus for revenue to begin to come in such that Nigeria can sustain this, penchant for obtaining loans? And you have not quite shed more light on the need for these loans to China, or from China rather, to be more transparent, which is the concern of most experts who say that the government is perhaps mortgaging the future of Nigerians with these China loans, these Chinese loans. Yeah, BK.
Let me start with the Chinese loans. China is desperate to acquire power and influence across the world, and it has deliberately targeted Africa. But their payments, their loan repayment is structured in a way that is far more attractive than it is the case with other creditors. So a country like Nigeria will be attracted to loans from China because you are not under as much stress to pay back as you ordinarily face with maybe loans from countries of the West. But however long, whatever the moratorium that you are given, a loan is a loan. You have to pay back. If you are not paying back immediately, you still have to pay back. So at some point, our children who are even unborn at this time will have to pay back to China. There is every reason to make these deals transparent. Let Nigerians know what they are going into. The Minister of Transport, for example, is not going to be there forever. When this administration leaves, he will most likely leave, or if his party remains in power, he could be given something else to do. But Nigerians need to know the conditions attached to these loans, because I believe that the Chinese are not fools. If you default, there are grave consequences. All actions have consequences. If you keep taking loans from China and it gets to the point that you are unable to service those loans because you simply cannot find the revenue to repay, what do you then do? Are you now going to take loans to service loans, or what are you going to do? So the choice that the government has is to improve the capacity to generate revenue, make the business environment conducive for foreign direct investment. That way, the pressure on foreign reserves, on our foreign reserves, will not be there. It's ridiculous when I read about the fact that we write to the president writes to the Senate to take loans as low as $1.5 billion. It shows the level to which we have sunk as a nation, that we are simply just taking loans all over the place. Yes, you talked about those projects that were inaugurated recently. It's a good thing to have those projects inaugurated. I know Nigerians like to say commission, but that's not good English. To see loans spent on infrastructure like power, like even railway, but we have to be sure of the capacity of those projects to repay themselves. For example, the Kaduna-Abuja rail corridor, we have not been able to make profits after operating it for 6 years. So how much longer are we going to wait for that project to deliver profit and then assure us that it can simply repay itself, if I can use that phrase? So that is the concern. The projects we must be sure that those projects that we are spending this loan on have the capacity to generate the kind of revenue that will enable us to repay those loans. Otherwise, I don't think it makes sense to spend those loans on projects that are not viable enough. And that's why the issue of transparency comes in, because economists and other categories of Nigerians will be able to analyze whether such projects can even repay those loans on their own. If they can't repay those loans on their own and we have to find funds elsewhere to repay, then it is not sensible to spend money on such projects. I also think that the PPP idea is something that government needs to look at closely. I don't understand why we are not so keen about doing PPPs, because PPPs across the world, PPPs are the way to go. It will save you funds, and at the end of the day, the project, maybe after some years, the project reverts to you as its owner. So PPPs are the way to go. The people who built the project will manage the project, they will operate the project for some time, and then transfer to you once they have made a considerable their own considerable outlay on the project. So I think we should do a lot. We should get the private sector involved, and we should do a lot more PPPs.
The statement of weighty concern there, the Abuja Kaduna light rail after 6 years hasn't made profit. And you also said that if these projects cannot repay the loans, then there's a need for re-evaluation. This is huge for the Nigerian government to consider.